Jasper's Ride Through Sensation. We dedicate this book to all the ghosts who died and are having a rough time coping with the fact that they have died. Chapter 1. I am not a ghost. This story begins with a ghost named Jasper and his angel friend Spoopy, tasked to help him adjust to his new life. Now, Jasper, having only just passed, hasn't quite caught up to the predicament yet, but soon, with the help of Spoopy, he will understand what it means to be a ghost and all the fun things that come with it. Jasper, Jasper, called out Spoopy. I've come to help. Where are you? Hello? I'm here. Well, sort of, mumbled Jasper. What happened? Well, Jasper, you had a bit of an accident, explained Spoopy. But it's all okay because I'm here to help you adjust to your new life as a ghost. What? You think I'm a ghost? No, that's not possible, says Jasper. I'm sorry, but it's true. But no, I'm not a ghost, Jasper says, interrupting Spoopy. Well, if this is how it's going to be, I guess I'll have to prove it to you, says Spoopy. Chapter 2. Sensation Basics. All right, Jasper, the easiest way to prove to you that you're a ghost is to teach you about sensation. Since you're a ghost, you won't experience the same sensations as you did when you were alive, explains Spoopy. Let's start with the basics. Sensation is how our eyes, ears, hands, mouth, and nose experience the world and how they send that information to our brain. They use things called sensory receptors to understand the stimulus around them. Sensory receptors work by taking what they experience from the outside world and turning it into information the brain can understand. For example, your taste buds taste food and turn the experience into something your brain can understand. Sometimes we can sense too much of something, like a smell or a sound, and after a little while we don't sense it as much anymore. It's called habituation. Something similar called sensory adaptation happens when you experience a sense all the time, like the smell of your house, and if you don't sense it all the time, like someone new to the house would. Now everything I've taught you so far is things that you may have been able to do, but not anymore, explains Spoopy. Now it's time to get specific. Okay, then where do we start? Questions Jasper. With taste and smell, said Spoopy.
Wednesday, my dudes.
Chapter 3. Taste and Smell. Take a sniff of the air. What do you smell? Asked Spoopy. That's odd. I can't smell anything, said Jasper, shocked. That's because you no longer have olfaction, a chemoreception that forms a sense of smell. Humans use 400 types of scent receptors that can detect at least 1 trillion different odors. As ghosts, we have none, because the dead can't smell, Spoopy said. Okay, Spoopy, where are the cameras? Is this some kind of weird prank show? Asked Jasper. No, you are truly dead. I can prove it, announced Spoopy. Here, try to take a bite of this pizza. I can't taste anything, Jasper screamed. Calm down, said Spoopy. This is because you are dead. We can't smell, taste, or touch. You know all those bumps on your tongue? Asked Spoopy. Well, they are called taste buds. When you eat, those taste buds send a message to your brain to give you information about whether the food is salty, sweet, sour, bitter, or a meaty taste. We don't have taste buds anymore because we are ghosts, said Spoopy. This is too crazy. I can't be dead. I just can't be, said Jasper. Chapter 4. Touch. Jasper, you are dead, says Spoopy. If I'm dead, would I be able to do this? Jasper went over and picked up a pizza. See? Said Jasper in a snarky tone.
Ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
I tried to tell you, we can't touch, replied Spoopy. We can't touch because we don't have mechanoreceptors anymore.
Don't think about it too much.
Mechanoreceptors are receptors that perceive sensations such as pressure, vibrations, and texture, says Spoopy. Sense of touch in the skin, which is made up of 3 layers, the epidermis, dermis, and hypodermis. Do you know what the gate control theory is? Asked Spoopy. No. What is it? Asked Jasper. It's when pain transmission is modulated by a balance of impulses conducted to the spinal cord. Cells in gray matter of the dorsal spinal cord act as a pain gate. Neurons carry pain. Other sensations may close the pain gate. Since we are ghosts, our pain gate is closed. We can't feel pain. That's why we go right through things we can't feel them, says Spoopy. We still have kinesthesis. Kinesthesis is the sense that gives us information about the location of our body parts with respect to each other and allow us to perform movements, so we can still move around, said Spoopy. People who are kinesthetic are usually very gifted in sports.
No. No. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
We also have vestibular senses still, the sensations of body rotation and of gravitation and movement. It's using our inner ear to send out signals over the auditory nerve, Spoopy said, loud and proud. Chapter 5, Hearing. Hey, don't be upset. It's okay, comforted Spoopy. Just because you're a ghost doesn't mean you've lost all of your senses. Really? Asked Jasper. But if I can't taste or smell or touch, what's the point? Well, think about it, silly. You can hear. How about we talk about that? Your ear works in a very cool way. First of all, you have to understand the sound is made by vibrations called sound waves. Let's pretend the alarm clock rings. When that alarm clock rings, the sound waves enter your outer ear, the part that you can see, and into your auditory canal. Your auditory canal leads you into your eardrum, which vibrates when your sound waves hit it. The vibrations are picked up by the middle ear and sent to the cochlea. They cause the liquid in the cochlea to ripple, bending the hair cells. The hair cells activate other nerve cells, which end up sending neural signals through the auditory nerve to give messages to the auditory cortex, the part of your brain that lets you hear things. Wow, I guess if I can only keep a few of my senses, hearing is a pretty cool one to keep, said Jasper, feeling a little better. Yeah, hearing is definitely a nice sense to keep, replied Spoopy. But sometimes we can lose our hearing.
Would you like to have a piece, Sis? What? Would you like to have a piece of candy?
Sensory neural hearing loss happens when we damage our cochlea or our auditory nerves. We can also have what's called conduction hearing loss, which happens when the mechanical system that conducts sound waves to the cochlea is damaged, said Spoopy. Well, I hope none of those things happen to me, shrieked Jasper. Ha ha, oh Jasper, I believe that's one of the advantages of being a ghost. I don't think you can get hearing loss, reassured Spoopy. Okay then, that's good, replied Jasper. Do I have any other senses left, Spoopy? Can you see me? He asked. Jasper nods. Then you still have the sense of sight. Sight is your most important sense, but first we need to talk about the properties of light, wavelength, and intensity. Just like sound and the sound waves we talked about before, light is made up of light waves. Wavelength is the distance from the peak of one wave to the peak of the next wave. The wavelength of light waves determines hue, colors like blue, green, purple, and others. Long wavelengths give us the colors at the beginning of the rainbow, while short wavelengths give us the colors at the end of the rainbow. Intensity is the amount of energy in a light wave, which is measured by amplitude. The amplitude of light waves gives us brightness. Big amplitude gives us bright colors, while small amplitudes gives us dull colors. Now, on to the eye. When light enters the eye, it comes in through the cornea. Then it passes through the pupil, which is controlled by the iris, the color part of your eye. After the pupil, the light passes through your eye's lens, like the lens of a camera, and is reflected onto the retina. Your cornea protects your eye and bends light to allow your eye to focus. Your pupil is controlled by muscle tissue that is your iris and opens varying sizes to control how much light gets in. Your lens changes shape to focus light onto your retina. Your retina, though, that's a little more complicated than the other parts of your eye. Your retina contains rods, cones, and sensory receptors of your eye. Rods see black, white, and gray, which is necessary when seeing in the dark. Cones see detail and color and function in daylight. Light is processed through the rods and cones and create neural signals that reach your optic nerve. Color is interesting, though. There's a theory called trichromatic theory that explains there are 3 color receptors in your retina. One that is most sensitive to red, another to green, and another to blue. These receptors working together can create any color. People can be color deficient or colorblind to certain colors due to lack of red and or green color receptors. Understand, Jasper? I think so, Jasper replied. The last thing I'll teach you about, which is actually really cool, are after images, said Spoopy. After images work by looking at an image, then looking at the white wall and seeing the opposing colors of each original color. This happens because we have 2 extra color processes, one for red and green, and another for blue and yellow. So, for example, if the original colors were green and yellow, the after image would be red and blue. So Jasper, questioned Spoopy, is it really so bad being a ghost? I know you don't have some of your senses anymore, but you still have some pretty awesome ones. Yeah, it isn't that bad. Thanks, Spoopy, for helping me realize that, replied Jasper, and they lived, or after-lived, happily ever after. Hey, Spoopy, asked Jasper. Yeah, he replied. How are you wearing a hat?